Hi, I'm Holly, and with my sister Heather, you're listening to Haunted Family Podcast, a weekly podcast about the paranormal, unsolved mysteries, and even some true crime.
Oh, that was me yawning. We've had a busy day. I am actually in Holly's spacious studio, aka the bedroom.
Yes, I am so envious of
any podcaster who actually has a studio.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I was actually going to say Shannon Osbourne, how she had that talk show and it was like a bed and like she was always in her pajamas. And I'm trying desperately to be like her, so I podcast in pajamas.
Yeah. I'm not in pajamas. I don't normally podcast in pajamas. I'm weird.
Would do everything in pajamas.
Okay, so we are together.
We are.
And we have actually, this is our second recording of the night. No, the first one did not get ate by the ghosts that live in Holly's house.
I'm surprised.
I just came down for a visit and we decided we was going to get as much recording out of the way as we could in between games of Cards Against Humanity and food.
Yes.
Food is not a game. Food is just food. Food is life.
Yes.
So what are we talking about tonight, Holly?
We are talking about your favorite topic. Because this means that you get to scream,
Tot Mom!
Tot Mom.
Sorry. Tot Mom.
Yeah, we are talking about Kaylee Anthony.
Yes, probably the most hated person in the United States.
Yes.
At least one of them.
Yeah, I would say that she is definitely up there in the top 10 most hated people.
So, can we talk about what made Kaylee Anthony infamous, hated?
Hated. Well, so she had this adorable little girl named Kaylee.
Kaylee Marie.
Yes. And so Kaylee was born August 9th, 2005. And she went missing-ish. She went missing, I guess. I guess you could say. Because that happened first. She went missing.
Yeah.
And Casey did what every loving, devoted, decent mother would do. And she immediately called the police. No, she didn't. She waited a month. 31 days to be exact. And she waited until her parents basically forced her to tell them what happened to her daughter. Because they were, by all accounts, decent grandparents.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And she had a lot of excuses in this 31 days, but where Kaylee was. We can't really talk too much about her parenting skills because we have a cousin who, when her child was just a few weeks old.
Yeah, she wasn't even a month old yet.
Gave her child to my sister for like a couple months.
Oh, no, not a couple months. I had the baby, it's almost its entire first year of life. There was a small break while I recovered from my hysterectomy, and then she basically got her like every couple of weekends or something. So we don't talk to that cousin or that cousin's mom at all because
they're crazy.
They are. And I got a hold of the baby's dad, who was in
Iraq at the time.
And, told him basically, I have your baby. Whenever you come in, just let me know, and I will meet you at the airport with your baby. And I did.
Yeah. He was able to file for some emergency
leave and come home and...
Yeah.
So, but, I mean...
So we understand some bad parenting. We understand it.
I mean, at least in that case, I had the baby, and I took care of her.
Yeah, she in Casey's case, she kept saying that her friend Zany,
who was the babysitter,
Zenata Fernandez Gonzalez, had the baby. this whole time.
Yeah, but that was not true because, well, there was somebody with that name, but that person did not know Casey, had never met Casey,
was not Kaylee's babysitter.
Right. So let's start with what happened on June 9th, 2008, because that was the last time that anybody ever saw Kaylee alive. At the time, was staying with her parents, but she moved out very shortly after that, like as in on June 15th. So I guess I'm sorry, I misspoke. I said that the 9th was the last time she was seen, but that's not true. The 16th was the last time she was seen. Okay, so on this day of June 16th, 2008, Kaylee is at the Anthony house. I don't want to just jump ahead and say what the defense thought on this is, so I won't. I'll just say that on this day, they're all there. George and Cindy, that's Kaylee's grandparents, and Casey and little Kaylee. So Casey is on AIM and MySpace and Facebook, and, well, I think that was it. But she's pretty much
whatever social media is going on in...
She's burning it up. And then she calls some friends. And then... Okay, so George... When does George go to work? George goes to work about 2:30. Cindy is already at work. She's left about 7 o'clock that morning. And she said everyone was home, but they were all asleep. So I don't know. They all get up about 8ish. I think that's when AIM and stuff is starting to ping. Casey, at some point after her dad leaves for work, Googles foolproof suffocation, but she misspells it. And clicks on an article criticizing pro-suicide websites. So I don't know if she ever found her foolproof way to suffocate someone.
And this was not... this wasn't found out by the police until later. This wasn't actually admissible wasn't in court.
Right.
When police actually initially looked at the computer, they didn't check the Google browser history. They just checked... no, they didn't check Firefox, which was what she was Googling it on. They checked...
Internet Explorer.
Internet Explorer. I mean, and you're in a house with old people and young people. Old people, and I'm sorry if you're old people listening to this, but they tend to be set in their ways, and they use Internet Explorer for everything. The younger you are, you tend to use different web browsers.
Right. So she gets a phone call from a Jesse Grund, and he says that Casey is acting odd on the phone. This is about 2:52.
There was Google searches for chloroform, chest trauma, internal bleeding, how to make chloroform, and how to break a neck.
Yeah. So all of these Google searches are going on at the exact same time that Jesse is talking to Casey. She hangs up the phone with him about 3:04, makes a phone call to her boyfriend. It's not answered. And then she makes 6 unanswered calls between 4:10 and 4:14 to her mom.
That's a lot of calls in a short amount of time.
I know. I never call our mom.
Can't remember the last time I called our mom.
I
mean, I saw her a couple days ago, but yesterday actually.
So later that night, she is seen entering a Blockbuster video, but Kaylee is not with her.
That's a blast from the past.
I know. Like, what's Blockbuster?
We probably have some listeners who don't know what Blockbuster is.
I know. So that was actually the last day that anybody saw Kaylee, and the parents Cindy and George did not see her after they left for work.
Now, George did something in law enforcement.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure that I read that. I don't have my notes with me because I forgot my notes at my house when I came up here.
Okay, so then the next day, George and Cindy noticed that the gate to their pool is open and that the ladder is next to it. But I guess they don't really think anything of it. June 20th, Casey is seen partying. June 23rd,
I couldn't find See You Say a Party June 23rd on Apple Music.
Shut up, Siri. No one wants to talk to you.
Siri is trying to find me a party on June 23rd. Thanks, Siri. I am actually an introvert and do not want to party. Then on the 23rd, her boyfriend helps her break into the shed at her parents' house and steals gas cans for her car. Then on the 24th, her parents notice that somebody's broken into the house and they call the police. On June 30th, the car is towed from a parking lot and it had been there for several days. This is the weird thing about that car being towed. If the car had been parked there for several days, why was her purse inside it? I mean, I understand a car seat being in it because, I mean, when my kids were in car seats, I just left the car seat in the car. I had a car seat. My ex-husband had a car seat. And I
think I had a car seat.
Yeah, we just never moved the car seat because that's a pain. I would rather buy everybody a car seat and everybody just have one than ever have to move that thing.
Yeah, and we never used the carrier function of a car seat, ever.
No.
I don't understand how parents can do that. They're just
so
too
heavy. Okay, so
George Anthony is the one who gets the notice that the car is impounded. And
right.
He goes to pick up
and
the
that's
car.
actually on July 15th. So it sits there for a long time.
And George says that when he got to the tow lot, him and the tow lot attendant both noticed that the trunk of the car had a strong smell of decomposing flesh.
Yeah, that it was extremely foul smelling. And there was also a trash bag in the trunk. But for whatever reason, they don't open the trash bag at this time. At this point, this is when Cindy is really starting to pressure Casey about where Kaylee is and why they haven't seen her. And Casey basically just says, I haven't seen Kaylee in a month, that the babysitter stole her. Now, I mean, I have kids, and I would never wait. I wouldn't wait 20 minutes if I thought somebody had stolen my kid. I wouldn't try to find them myself. I mean, this is not the movie Taken. I don't have those skills.
She does not know how to use those skills. She would call police and hope that they have those skills and that they know how to use those skills.
Yes. And I, hopefully that somebody could get my baby back. But she does none of that.
Baby back, baby. Sorry.
She does not do that. She parties for 31 days.
And she doesn't really seem to act like it is a big deal that she hasn't seen her child in a month.
Right. So, her mother calls the police because, the mom wants to find the kid. And that's when they find out that Casey hasn't been working where she says that she's been working. She said that she was working at Universal. I think it was Universal. Some amusement park place. But she wasn't. She had been fired. Casey, at this point on July 16th, is arrested for child neglect, making false official statements, and obstructing an investigation. They say that she has had a woeful disregard for the welfare of her child. So she has a $500,000 bond.
Holly has no excuse not to be able to read her notes clearly because they're typed out. But they're typed out in the smallest font imaginable.
I am blind. I need glasses.
You keep getting glasses and you never wear them.
I know, because I'm vain. I like to wear my sunglasses, and I can't wear my sunglasses if I'm wearing regular glasses.
You can get sunglasses that have your prescription.
So she's arrested, and they still have no idea where Kaylee is. Leonard Padilla, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry. Pays the $500,000 bail. He's a bail bondsman, and she has an electronic monitoring device. She is almost immediately rearrested. This was on August 21st, 2008. On August 29th, 2008, she is arrested again, this time for writing bad checks. It's unrelated to the investigation, but still, she's freaking arrested again.
She's a train wreck of a human being.
Oh, yes. So the parents post a bond this time, and she's released into their custody.
So, wait, hold on. Have you talked about how Roy Kronk has repeatedly called the police about...
No.
Okay. So, August 11th, 12th, and 13th, a meter reader, Roy Kronk, repeatedly calls the police about a suspicious object in the woods in a forested area near the Anthony home. And the police pretty much blow him off.
Yeah, I wonder why. I mean, you've got a missing kid and suspicious stuff in a bag. Yeah. I mean, it just kind of seems like it'd be obvious that you'd go check that out.
On one occasion, an officer did say, well, he said he went out, and he said he didn't see anything. On December 11th, Kronk once again called the police. This time, they actually sent somebody out there, and they searched the area, and it was at that time that they found a child's remains wrapped up in a Winnie the Pooh blanket inside a trash bag.
So sad.
You know, I think it was the same Winnie the Pooh blanket that Abby had when she was little.
Oh. So, the child neglect charges are dropped because, well, now the child is dead, which I think they should have still stayed because, I mean, it was neglect that caused her to die. The, Zany, the nanny, who really was never her nanny, files defamation charges against her. And yeah, pretty much the world is already starting to hate her, and Nancy Grace is screaming Tot Mom at this point in time.
Yes. I mean, I think this really is one of the cases that really made me hate Nancy Grace.
She's annoying.
I mean, she's good at her job. She draws attention to cases. But I just, oh my God. And Nancy Grace, if by some miracle you're listening to this, I don't hate you as a person. And I really enjoy your passion, but I just can't handle that level. You are like at 100 and I can't handle that. Who am I kidding? Nancy Grace is never going to listen to our little podcast.
I know. She's not. She's got better things to do.
She does. She's got like twins she's running after. She can't waste her time listening to us.
Okay, so on January 23rd, Georgia Anthony is sending despondent text messages and is on alcohol and possible drugs and is just a mess. He is a mess. And they find him in a hotel room with a very long suicide note. I mean, I don't know. At this point, this is when I start getting suspicious of him because why would he kill him? Why would he want to kill himself? Like, what's the reasoning? I know his grandchild was just found murdered, but I mean, he wasn't that concerned about the kid when it was missing for 31 days.
Yeah.
they're charging her with murder, and she's going, like, she gets the death. She doesn't get the death penalty, but the death penalty is on the table. Her train wreckness is just going full speed at this time because she pleads guilty to 13 fraudulent checks. But she does, in her defense, she does make full restitution. But I don't know.
Like how?
Yeah.
Because she's a train wreck of a human being?
Because she is a train wreck.
Okay, so Casey Anthony hires, well, I think he was doing it pro bono, a defense attorney named Jose Baez.
Yeah.
Who puts together a crack team. Probably actually some of them on crack. I probably shouldn't say that because I might get sued by them. But puts together a team, and their sole purpose, of course, is to get her off the hook on this.
And they succeed.
She is actually now dating one of the investigators that Jose Baez hired to help convince the jury that she was innocent.
Yeah. Their take on what must have happened.
Well, they threw out a lot of theories.
Yeah.
Just hoping that something would stick. Kind of like when you throw spaghetti to the wall.
All you have to do is create doubt, sadly.
Yeah. And they did create doubt. They threw out theories that her dad killed Kaylee. I think at one time they were actually even insinuating that
she accidentally drowned in the pool.
Yeah. That that George Anthony had actually molested Casey and had molested Kaylee.
Yeah, and that's how she was getting rid of her to keep her safe. I mean, any dumb ass theory that you can think of, they came up with it.
And the jury bought it.
Oh, I think that the jury, I really and truly feel like the jury in this trial was so sick of hearing it.
Well, I mean, I don't think the prosecution did a very good job either because they pretty much focused on Casey's a partier.
Well, but that's true. I mean, but being
There's
a partier,
more to this case than she's a partier. There was a lot more that they should have went in and hit her hard with.
Well, true. Like yes, she was a partier. Yes, she also liked to write bad checks that were stolen. But,
you know, honestly, checks are so rare now that I bet most people when they get a check, they're like, is this fake?
I know.
What? Huh? Who writes checks anymore? Oh,
I think I write
2008, the simpler times.
I write like one a month. That's for my car payment. Everything else is like it just comes out magically. It's like the power of internet. Okay, but yes, she was a partier. I mean, honestly, she should have given Kaylee up at birth because she had no intention of raising this baby.
No. Kaylee cramped her style.
Yes. Because you can't, I don't know, you can't have fun when you've got a kid at home. I mean, her priority never shifted from me to Kaylee. Not me as in me, but as she never thought more of Kaylee than she thought of herself.
During testimony, a canine handler, Jason Forgy, testified that his dog, a certified cadaver dog, indicated a high alert of human decomposition in Casey Anthony's trunk and also in the Anthony backyard. Jose Baez, being the douchebag defense attorney that he is, because I mean most of them are, argued that the dog signaling was hearsay and that the jury should just throw that out and did a good job of trying to paint the dog as garbage. But 2 dogs actually alerted to decomposition in the trunk and in the backyard. He said that since when they went back, the dogs didn't alert to anything, that this meant that there was never any decomposition in the backyard.
That's not how that works.
It's not how it works. But the jury believed him.
You're right, though. The prosecution should have looked more on the fact that, not that she was out partying for 31 days, but why did she not call the police? Why was she not worried about where her kid is? And in my opinion, that she wasn't concerned because she knew exactly where she was. She knew that she was wrapped up in a Winnie the Pooh blanket in a trash bag in the woods near their house. She knew exactly where she was.
Yeah.
She just didn't care because she put her there. I mean, being a liar does not mean that you're a murderer. I mean,
I've got a friend who's a compulsive liar, and I don't think they've ever killed anybody.
Lying about where you work does not mean that you've killed somebody.
No. Making up a person out of whole cloth and saying that your child's nanny doesn't actually mean that you're a liar. Well, it means you're a liar. It doesn't mean you're a murderer.
Right. And writing bad checks does not mean that you're a murderer. But lying about where you are, lying about what you're doing, and completely not being alarmed at all that your kid is gone does kind of paint a picture that, well, you've probably done something with said kid. I mean, I couldn't imagine not knowing where my kids are for 6 hours. Like, if you didn't talk to them every day, I have no doubt that you wouldn't be like right here knocking on my door looking for my kids.
Yeah, I mean, if I would notice if your children went missing, like, because, you know, they're very active on social media and stuff. Yeah, I would be concerned. And you better believe that you just give me this weird excuse that they're with their nanny named Zany, that I would probably be kicking your butt all the way down to the sheriff's office and be like, listen, I think my sister has killed my nieces. They might have deserved it because they're mouthy brats. I love you girls. But, you know, still. So, she didn't get completely off scot-free. She was found guilty of, what was it, 4 counts of providing false information to law enforcement? 4 counts. She said that she was an employee of Universal Studios at the time. And that was a lie. She said that she had left Kaylee at an apartment complex with her babysitter. That was a lie. She had told law enforcement officers that 2 employees of Universal Studios, Jeff Hopkins and Juliette Lewis.
I like her music. I like her movies.
That she had informed them of Kaylee's disappearance. That was a lie. And she also said that she had received phone calls and spoken to Kaylee Anthony on July 15th. And, of course, that was a lie because on July 15th, she was dead. I don't understand why a jury could find her guilty on that charge right there.
Yeah. Knowing that baby is dead.
And yet not just say, you know what? This cow killed her baby.
I know. And I think that that's why everybody got up in arms and hate her now. I mean, she got off scot-free. I mean, she got a slap on the freaking wrist. Time served. She was only in jail until July 17th, 2011.
Yeah. Of course, you know, after the verdict comes in, the jury can officially talk to the news media. And one juror number 3, said that she did not say that Casey Anthony was innocent. She just said, meaning that, she didn't find her guilty of murder, that there was not enough evidence. If you cannot prove there was a crime, you cannot determine what punishment should be. Well, Cal, there's a baby that is dead. That tape didn't get over her nose and mouth by itself. And that's what I have to say about that. And if juror number 3 is listening to this...
Yeah, we don't like you either.
No. And I really feel sorry for everyone. If you went on to finish nursing school, I really feel sorry for everybody who has you as their nurse. Ooh, I'm harsh tonight.
You are.
It's probably the lack of sleep.
But
we're recording this at like 2:30 in the morning.
I would not want to be a juror on this.
I have been a juror on a tough case. On a case where a child died. It's not easy. Mine was, the case I sat on, I'm sure it was an accident. The grandmother accidentally overdosed the grandchild with Benadryl that she was using to put it to sleep so that she could just have a break, because grandmothers should not be raising their grandchildren, yet it's happening all over drug-addicted Eastern Kentucky right now.
I know, and I'm on one hand glad that the kids can stay with family. On the other hand, grandparents are tired, and they should not be watching kids 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They raise their kids.
Toddlers have energy. And you know what? Me at 35 can barely keep up with a toddler. I don't have a toddler. I'm just saying. I can't keep up with people's children.
It's hard. I admire John Green from St. Petersburg, who basically just said, I don't want to be on this jury. He was going to be away from home for several months, hardly any contact with friends and family. And, he got himself out.
Yeah.
He talked to a reporter on the 3rd day of jury selection, which was a violation of the rules that the judge set forth. And when they asked him, "Are you trying to get out of jury duty?" he was honest and said, "Yeah." I admire that. I admire if you do not think that you could do it, juror number 3, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah. Juror number 2 said, everybody agreed if we were going fully on emotions, that Anthony was done for. I swear to God, I wish we had more evidence to put her away. I truly do. But there wasn't.
How do you not? Okay. If you're a juror on this case, please let me know how you did not. Because sometimes, trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
We were able to watch this case unfold on TV. We watched the trials. And I don't understand how you as a jury could not find her guilty of killing her child. All evidence pointed to...
she did it.
Yeah. And as much as her and Jose Baez tried to blow smoke in other directions, ultimately it comes down to she was the last person with Kaylee. Mm-hmm. Her car was the one that had the scent of decomposed human flesh in it. Mm-hmm. She was the one Google searching while social media texting friends about how to kill somebody. And ultimately, she had the most to gain from killing Kaylee.
With Kaylee gone,
she was free.
She was free. I mean, who else had the means and the motive to do this? If somebody sneaks into your house, steals your baby, wouldn't you then call the police? Call somebody to help you find it? But she didn't.
She lied.
She didn't care.
She lied for 31 days about where this child was. To me, that right there is guilt enough for me to have found her guilty of murdering her child.
Right.
Because it wasn't her parents lying about where this child was for 31 days.
She was lying.
I do think that her parents should have called the police.
Oh, yeah.
If your children just went missing, I would totally call the cops on you, Holly.
Well, I would call the cops on me.
I mean, they're old enough now, they probably take you down and fight. They're bigger than you.
Probably.
But, I mean, I don't see how this woman got off the hook.
I don't either.
And, honestly, I hope that she never has children.
Oh, I know. Every time a tabloid says that she's pregnant, I cringe. But I would hope that she would not make that mistake twice. I mean, not that I think that Kaylee is a mistake, but I think that
Murdering your child is definitely a mistake.
Kaylee was a mistake for her to have. She should have given her to anybody else to raise.
Or had an abortion.
I hate to say that, but...
Or
anything.
used effective birth control.
I mean, did she even...
I mean, there's ways not to have children.
Yeah.
I mean, and I kind of hate when people say, well, she should have just put the kid up for adoption. We have hundreds of thousands of children waiting for adopted homes in our foster system right now.
I know. But babies go faster. I mean,
they do.
And I mean, if we have so many kids in foster care wanting and needing homes because they were taken from their families as older kids. Babies go like that. I mean, like, babies are a hot commodity. We may have mentioned this before, but my ex-husband, the father of my children, he's adopted, and he was adopted as an infant, and actually so was his sister.
And one of my good friends, she was adopted as an older child, and initially they had a hard time finding placement for her because she wasn't adopted until we were in first grade, and her brother was a couple years...
Which is still young.
Yeah, her brother was a couple years older than her, though, and they did not want to separate them.
Right.
And finally a family found her, and they was like, well, we want this kid, and she was like, I don't want you to adopt me unless you take my brother too. And they were like, we didn't know you had a brother. Yeah, let's take him too. So, yeah. And her adopted parents are awesome.
Yeah.
They are.
But it's so hard for kids who get removed and they're, I don't know, 4th grade and up, when they've lost that, cherubby child cuteness. A
friend of mine, her older brother, was actually adopted as an older child. He was Jessica, her brother. He ended up in a foster home that was my friend's parents' cousins or something. And they were related, and they didn't think they could have children. And they met him, and they was like, well, you know what? We like him. He fits with our family. So they adopted him. And then, like, the next year, they got pregnant with Jessica. So her and her brother are like 13 years apart.
Oh. I've actually never met him.
I have only met him once.
Oh.
I think he lives in California.
Oh.
At least this was the last time I met him. He was living in California.
That would explain why I never see him then.
Yeah. He joined the Army, and I don't think he's ever lived back in Kentucky since then.
But my whole point about adoption is
It's an option.
it is an option, especially if she decides early on that she didn't want. If she knew that she couldn't handle it, she should have just right then.
Yeah, I mean, and if that's the case, she could have found a placement for Kaylee, and Kaylee would have went from the hospital to her new parents.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's actually how Mike would have been adopted, but there was some drama, and he ended up spending like a few weeks in a orphanage.
Yeah. I might have just straight been a foster home, but yeah, he spent a little time. Not long.
No. But she had other options. She didn't need to kill this baby. I mean, okay. And legally, she has been found not guilty, so we cannot say that she killed her child, but there is somebody in the Anthony household that knows what happened to Kaylee. And I'm going to bet it's her.
Well, okay, this is why I don't think it was the parents. Or, okay, this is why I don't think it was the mother. The mom pressured her and kept asking where Kaylee is, and pressuring her to bring her over. And the mom was the one that called the police.
I do kind of get the sense, though, that the dad might have known something after the fact.
I also believe that. I believe...
But
if not, when the car was picked up from impound...
He knew instantly when he got the car that there had been something dead in the trunk. He had worked in law enforcement. He knew the smell of decomposed flesh. Mm-hmm. And honestly, anybody who's passed roadkill knows the smell of... There's a distinct different smell between just stinky trash and flesh rotting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and the tow company worker said the same thing. That he knew the difference between stinky trash and rotting flesh. And that was a rotting flesh smell in that trunk. So, Casey, how did the rotting flesh get in the trunk of your car?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I am notorious for having a messy car. Like, it has been joked that Jimmy Hoffa may be in my car.
You could pretty much live out of your car, though.
I could.
It's your office.
I drive a lot, and I like to be prepared. So, honestly, I could probably survive a zombie apocalypse from my car. You know, I keep water, I keep snacks, I keep extra jackets, I keep extra gloves, I keep tools. I think I might have I do have extra boots in my car. I don't know, pretty much anything that you can think of that you might possibly need, I have it somewhere in my car. And it's just not all organized. It's a mess. There may also be food bags from like Wendy's or
and by
whatever.
Probably she means there definitely is.
I mean, there definitely is.
Casey knows. She knows. If she didn't herself kill Kaylee, she knows who did.
Yeah, but she's not saying anything. And that, in my opinion, makes her just as guilty.
Yeah, I mean, this case infuriates me.
Oh no, me too.
I mean, I don't even have children. I can't imagine what a parent must feel watching this. From my understanding, her parents do not speak to her anymore.
Well, I would say not.
I mean, especially not considering she drug them through the mud, trying to cast blame on them.
To get herself off. And I can't imagine... I'm going to leave her dad out of this because, again, I don't know his level of guilt. But I'm going to say, as the mom... I could not imagine going through life knowing that I raised someone so selfish.
But it's the same kind of how parents of people who go on to become serial killers feel. Like, that just disbelief that
That they
because you have to still love the person because you raised them But on the same hand, you're like, I don't even know you.
Right.
So yeah, I think I limited my Tot Mom in this.
You did good.
Because you know what? She really wasn't a mom.
No.
She was a piece of trash who happened to have a very beautiful child that she did not deserve. And now she's shacking up with one of the investigators that her defense attorney hired for her case. And I think she's even working for Jose Baez now. And all I can think is that man better hope he never gets her pregnant. Because he might kill her. He might kill their child too.
She might kill their child.
Yeah, she might kill their child too. It's late, Holly. I'm tired. Or, I don't know. I don't know if I could go to sleep laying next to somebody like that.
I couldn't. I couldn't even have a friend who I think possibly did that.
I mean, like I mentioned somewhere, I have a friend who's a compulsive liar. But I know not to believe anything that he says, ever. The boy could tell me that the sky is blue, and I would tell him that he was lying. And he has lied about big things and little things and things that don't mean anything and things that are super important. And I think that's sort of how she is. She's a compulsive liar. So, I mean, she can tell me she didn't murder her child all she wants, and I'm not going to really believe that. And she can tell me that, I'm safe being in the same house with her, but I'm never going to believe that.
Oh, no, me either.
I wonder if we have any listeners who actually believe that she was innocent.
Oh, do we? If so, let us know.
Tell us why you think she's innocent. Explain to us your thought processes behind this. Because in my mind, all I'm seeing is she had the most to gain. She was the last person to see her alive. She was the one doing the Google searches. And it was her car that smelled like rotting flesh. To me, all that adds up to girl be guilty.
Oh, yeah.
So, I have a stupid criminal for us.
Okay, good.
Actually, we promised our listeners 2 stupid criminals. Remember?
Right. Although I think this episode is launching before the other one.
Oh, well. You want to do 2 anyway?
We'll do 2 anyway.
Christmas Eve.
So, hold on. So,
Hold on.
when you listen to next week's episode and we say we're going to give you 2 the next week, we lied. We're giving you 2 this week.
Yeah.
Wait, does that mean we killed somebody?
So, you got proposed to on Christmas Eve once upon a time.
I was. Actually, was it Christmas Eve?
It was Christmas Eve.
I thought it was Christmas Day.
Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. It was Christmas something.
I remember Star Wars was on.
It was the Yoda death
And if
scene.
you know me at all, you know that I am a
This
crazy,
actually almost
huge...
ruined Star Wars 4.
Yes, I am a huge Star Wars fan. Huge Star Wars fan.
Actually, the person that proposed to her is somebody we've mentioned on the podcast several times.
It is.
Our dear friend Heath, who she is actually surprisingly still friends with.
It took a long time to get back to being friends.
And he married her high school roommate. Her college roommate.
Yeah. But anyway, love Star Wars, huge Star Wars fan. And it was, I don't remember the year, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Star Wars was on TV. It was Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, one or the other, and he asked Dad if he could have my hand in marriage. I was sitting right there, but I didn't hear all of the exchange. I just heard Dad say, "No, you have to take all of her." And I was like, what? And then he just turned around and proposed to me, and Yoda was dying on the screen, and I was like...
And it was perfection.
It was. Except we didn't get married, but that's okay.
But you know what? This proposal ended in something bad, too.
No.
Alex Hines, and I'm probably mispronouncing his last name because it's Henize.
I think it is Hans.
28, of Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, so not too far from
No,
us.
not too far. Decided that he was going to propose to his girlfriend on Christmas Eve. Because, Christmas proposals are the best, apparently.
They're not.
But she rejected him.
Oh.
Yeah. So he did what every rational, sane, normal human being did.
He burnt something.
No. He held her at gunpoint, threatened to shoot her, and created a big old hostage situation.
Oh, no.
To which Columbus police had to respond. And when they get there, they find...
Was he surprised that she said no after all of that?
Apparently. So, police get there and rescue the woman, thankfully. And they find 3 guns, $20,000 in cash, and 11 pounds of fentanyl.
Oh, no.
If, for those of you who are outside of our area, we have been having a rash of deaths caused by drugs being mixed with fentanyl, and fentanyl is really, really strong, and has been causing a lot of overdoses. So yeah, apparently he's one of the fentanyl kingpins in Columbus. And I'm guessing was because he's in jail now for, creating a hostage situation after his girlfriend saw the lie and turned down his Christmas proposal.
So sad.
Such a smart lady. Hopefully she stays far away from him in the future and doesn't get hurt from this guy who clearly is a little bit on the crazy side.
A little bit on the crazy side. A lot on the crazy side.
Do you have a stupid criminal for us?
I was looking. Okay. I'm not for sure when this happened, but it happened in Florida.
Oh, good old Florida.
Yeah.
We pick on Florida so much.
So some drug dealers broke into a house, and they were so excited because they found 3 jars of cocaine. They steal it, and they take it home with them, and they start snorting it.
Yay! Wait, that has to be pretty bad.
They were actually urns, and they were snorting.
Man, I love snorting stuff. It's neat and slowing outside. I'm snorting.
They were actually snorting the remains of the victim's husband and 2 dogs.
Oh, listen, I would be pretty mad if someone broke into my home and started snorting Scarlett's remains.
And Dad, do you still have him?
I do, but I mean, it's pretty clear that Dad's dad. Scarlett would be. She's a much smaller container, so I might think that she is my drugs.
Yeah, we have no drugs.
No, I just have ashes of my dad and my dog.
Yeah, please don't break in and start snorting them. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening.
It's now 3 a.m.
We are worn out. Worn out.
Yes, we filmed 2 things for YouTube that hopefully gets put up soon, and 2 episodes tonight, in between playing games with the girls, and we're tired.
We are. What a way to start the year. So, Anyway, thanks for listening. Oh, hold on. If you want to start a podcast,
we didn't do this in our last episode.
I know. If you want to start a podcast, it's because it's your New Year's resolution or something. I highly suggest Podbean.
We love it.
We do. Use our affiliate code HauntedFamilyPB, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, but we get a teeny tiny little kickback that helps us with our hosting fees and stuff, because that's the only thing we get.
Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna be running out and taking vacations with it.
No. Although if we did, we would record it and
share it with the masses.
Share it with all you guys.
Because we're lame.
Yeah. But anyway, I know we say this at the end of every episode, but it's just so easy to upload. It's so easy to integrate it with our YouTube channel. It's just so easy. And I love seeing where all of you are from. And it's got
we cyber stalk you all. Well,
we do.
Not really, because we can't see what your name is or house, but we see your area.
Yeah, And we love that. We love seeing what new countries we've got, what state is our most downloaded state.
California.
We just, I mean, we love all of the analytics that it comes with.
I really feel like we need to take a trip to California because they are our number one listener.
They are. It is a pretty big state, too.
True. Kentucky, you are not our number one state.
You're barely in the top 10. That's all we've got for you today. So, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.